Okay, so yesterday we were talking about Dear Rush Limbaugh, and I wanted to continue today. Yesterday we were talking about using what he's doing as an example to look at our own mind and how we categorize people according to one behavior and think we know everything about them. And another thing I think we can learn from observing his behavior is to look at our own speech. Okay, and how easy it is to ridicule people, to put them down, to take delight at humiliating and disparaging others. Okay, so we may see this in his speech, but the idea isn't just to sit there and point the finger at him, but to look and see, well, what about me? When do I do that? And, in the, I don't know if you would say uproar about his speech, in the last while, I think it's very good that people are saying we don't want this kind of speech as part of our public discourse in this country. And I think it's good that we speak up about that. But we need to do it in a way where we don't just put the blame on somebody else for speaking in disparaging, insulting, humiliating ways, but where we look at where we take delight in doing the same. Yeah. And so it's often towards figures like him that we take delight in ridiculing and making fun, don't we? Because he's a safe person for us to disparage because we don't have to look him in the eye. We don't know him. And we could put him into a box and say, this guy's completely nuts, which I think, well, many of us have done. Yeah, but then it's so interesting because then my speech is becoming exactly like the speech of the person who I'm saying I don't like that kind of speech about. Okay, and so to look in especially in our country when we talk about people we don't know or people with certain social positions or political opinions or beliefs that we don't agree with, how easily we talk in a disparaging way about them. And it's safe for us to do that because they're not in front of us. Yeah, so we can easily make them into a stereotype and not treat them as a human being. Whereas if it's a real person in front of us, it's going to be a little bit harder to say, what you think is completely insane. Hopefully it would be a little bit more polite, although not always. What's the big thing people fight about at family dinners is people having different beliefs that other people don't understand. And then, instead of saying, I don't understand your belief, or please explain the reasoning behind that, or talking about something else, we just insult the other person or call them names or tell them they're stupid, And that's a great way to have a wonderful family dinner. Isn't it? Yeah. So I think when we see this kind of behavior, like on the radio or on TV, then not just to criticize it there, but to use it as a mirror and say, when do I do that? And when do I feel particularly keen on insulting somebody and putting somebody down, whether they're in front of me or not in front of me, And why do I take so much delight in insulting other people? And that's a really interesting question I would like Rush to reflect on and answer. Why does he take delight? Isn't it when I look inside, okay, why do I take delight? Is it a way of releasing anger? Is it a way of, by putting somebody else down, I'm making myself look good? Is it a way of feeling community with other people who also oppose this person? What is it that I'm getting out of speaking in a disparaging way or ridiculing somebody else. Yeah? And that goes in an interesting way with NVC, because, you know, when I say, what am I getting out of it? Well, what need do I have? And is insulting somebody or humiliating them, ridiculing them, making fun of them, is that really meeting that need? Yeah. So whether it's Rush or whether it's me, after we speak in that way to somebody, do we really feel good about ourselves, and do we feel like our internal needs have been met? Or do we feel kind of like, well, I put somebody else down and so I'm proud of myself for that, but inside, yeah, when we're home alone with ourselves, how do we really feel about how we spoke to or about somebody else? Yeah, and to really ask, you know, what is my need? What am I getting out of this? What am I trying to accomplish? And then see if there's other ways to meet that need or accomplish that same goal, besides scapegoating somebody else or, you know, so on and so forth. Wouldn't that be a nice discussion to have, a national discussion about? You know, like if the news had different people write different things about something like that. So we talked about, you know, how do we talk to each other as a country? You know, how do we talk with people who have different views than we do, besides just saying they're out of their mind and, you know, whatever.